Good evening, all, for day 5 of something. Don't know why that's playing again. That's really annoying. Apologies. I probably can't hear that at all because it's probably coming from my computer, and that was just random. Audio issues, as always. Anyway, let's bring in my guests to save my embarrassment further. Cool. Right, down to my bottom left. Yes, bottom left is Mark from the Whisky Whistle, hailing all the way from Winnipeg in Manitoba. No, yeah, Manitoba.
Yeah. Manitoba.
Woo! And then down on my other side is Toby from Whisky Shared,
There we go.
who's just down the road in Eastbourne. Cool. So, how is everybody doing in the chat? Who we got in? We've got Rolf Ebhead. Good to see you again, buddy. Gregoire from Wednesday's live stream. Good to see you again, Greg. Society Dweller, hey, how you doing? And that seems to be it. It is Friday night, so I'd imagine some people are out drinking. Yeah, so let's go. Today's topic is going to be bourbon. Probably not a lot of knowledge from my side, possibly Toby's side. Hopefully some from Mark's.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. I'm going to just throw out some sort of random questions on our bourbon sort of adventures at the moment. So yeah, Mark, what's your favourite bourbon you've had?
That's a great question, Chris. Actually, I've tried quite a few. I haven't not yet covered all of them. In fact, I have not tried Four Roses yet, and I think that's going to change very soon. But so far, for my tastes, my favorite style of whiskey is style of bourbon whiskey is the bourbon that Wild Turkey makes.
Nice.
And 101 is such a high quality, inexpensive whiskey. And I've recently come to know what they call Kentucky Spirit, which is their kind of like their small batch cask strength version that stores get to pick specifically what gets bottled. And I'm really enjoying what we're getting here in Manitoba from Wild Turkey for that Kentucky Spirit. I've also tried recently Eagle Rare, so I've got that's the one. Yep, Eagle Rare, which I also quite like. So it seems the Buffalo Trace mash bill and the way that they make whiskey also seems to really suit my palate. And lastly, Maker's
Buffalo
Mark.
Trace as well.
I'm not a exceptionally huge fan of the basic Maker's Mark, but we also get a small batch store pick version, which they call Private Select, where they get to pick different staves for the maturation, and that's also very, very nice. So I'm pretty happy to have come back to North America and have a better selection of bourbon and straight rye, and I've even had the pleasure of trying mellow corn in the last few weeks. Yeah. So,
nice.
Mm-hmm.
How about yourself, Toby?
For me, my sort of like everyday go-to bourbon is Buffalo Trace. I really like that. It's very sweet. Probably too sweet for some people, but it's just such an easy drink. But in terms of probably the best I've had so far, it's this one here, which is a rye, which is Hudson Manhattan Rye.
Okay.
I find that amazing. It only comes in little bottles in the UK, and it's quite expensive for what it is. But it's got such a nice spicy finish to it, and you can play with that with water until you get it to that sweet spot. So you can have fun for ages with that one as you're trying to find that sweet spot and get that spiciness to the right level.
Cool, nice. For me, as I've shown, I've got Wild Turkey 101 at the moment. Buffalo Trace is a staple. I mean, in the UK, I mean, we can get this on Amazon for like 15 quid in sales, and that's absolute bargain. Regular price is about 20 anyway, so I mean, it's still a pretty good deal for a bourbon in the UK.
Yeah, that's about $24 Canadian.
Yeah,
that's a really good buy. That is more like about, I want to say $30, $35 or $38 in Manitoba. You know, so it's a decent deal, but actually the basic blended Scotch whiskies are a better buy than the basic bourbons on the whole.
Yeah, we get a few deals with bourbon, but about it. I think they got Jim Beam single barrel on at the moment, which is a really good deal. It's like 30 quid. That's a really good bourbon.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I've had that. I've
love
reviewed it. That's really good. I like that one.
Yeah, I love that.
We get one of the Jim Beam single barrels as well, and I haven't shelled out for it yet, but perhaps soon. I just have to plug in my my power because I'm losing power on my laptop. So pardon me for a minute.
No problem. Cool. My bourbon journey, I mean, it's been quite, not extensive, but I've had a few now. I've got some Four Roses. I've had a couple of Four Roses. They're really nice. I've got this one. This is the giveaway later, everyone. Not the whole bottle, but a sample.
Ooh. Let's see that again.
See it again.
That is a nice old bottle.
Yeah. It's
that's got to be at least from more than a decade ago.
Yes, it is. Possibly an 80s or 90s bottling of that, which I picked up, reasonably priced. That'd be a nice giveaway. We've got a nice little question come in from Greg already. What do we think of Woodford Reserve? I like it. I've had it. I've had a bottle.
Yeah, I've only had the rye.
Oh, the Woodford rye.
And that's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit too weak. Even at 45.2%, it's just not quite there.
Their mash bill's not very high rye though, is it? It's not a...
No.
If I remember, they probably is only 51% rye.
Yeah, something like
that. Whereas we like, high ryes.
Yeah, I like 70 plus.
Ooh. For me, the Woodford Reserve, I do like it. I think I've got a review of the basic Woodford Reserve from a couple or 3 years ago, so time to revisit that. Really curious about the what is it called? The double barrel or double something?
Double oak.
It's in a stout bottle, kind of like a dumpy fat bottle.
Double.
So I'd like to try that. And I bought a very unusual Woodford Reserve about a year ago, which was cherry wood smoked.
Okay.
And that comes in it almost looks like a pot still, the shape of the bottle. So it's round at the base, and then it has a little tiny bulb, and then comes up like so, and a nice wood cork. And it's interesting because the double oak, that's right. But so many people in the bourbon community absolutely hate that cherry wood smoked bourbon. But for me, what I liked about it was the fact that here we have a major bourbon brand that's actually trying something different and putting some smoke into the equation for their bourbon. And I loved the cherry effect and the slight smokiness of it. Haven't reviewed it yet. Someone was complaining that I haven't done any bourbon reviews for quite a while.
I was
backlog.
I was trawling through your videos earlier today going, does he do bourbon? Has he done any bourbon? Oh my God, I've done a topic of bourbon and he hasn't done anything. He must hate it. And then I got to it a bit further down. But yeah, like you say, you haven't done them for a while, so yeah, I recently, I can't remember what my last one was. Oh, Wild Turkey 101 probably. Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that one. Very nice.
It's classic.
Yeah. I think you could say that, really. It's one of those ones that you can have on the shelf, isn't it?
Totally.
Alongside sort of Buffalo Trace. And then sort of, I had Four Roses single barrel or small batch, I think it was. And that's another one that is quite reasonably priced, especially here in the UK, and it's a good shelf filler.
I think that's absolutely a bottle that you can have, as you say, just on your shelf, and maybe you don't replace it when you're finished, but probably every couple or 3 years, I would be inclined to have a bottle of Wild Turkey 101 on the shelf. And another one that I quite like for just daily sipping, which I didn't mention, was Evan Williams, the Bottled and Bond. And it's actually even, I believe, a little bit cheaper still than the Wild Turkey 101, but essentially the same proof nearly, and the added benefit of being bottled and bond, which gives you, basically makes the batch even smaller because it has to be a single season and so on, all those unique rules. So that's a classic choice too.
Cool. So, I mean, out of like all like the maybe offshoots of bourbons, I mean, you got the wheated ones. Is there any one that like you've seen recently? Like, Bernheim, Toby's got. Is there anyone that, any recent like bourbon that's come out, or one that you've thought, I really fancy trying that one because maybe you've seen reviews or whatnot?
One that just came up a couple of days ago here is Jack Daniel's, I think it's called Master Distiller Series. But the thing that, and so I thought, oh yeah, maybe I'll grab that. But when I looked at all the facts online about this, it turns out that actually is from 2017, and my province is just getting that now. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not going to put a review out of something that's that was a one-off from 2 years ago.
JD
that
one.
People have Jack Daniels, it's got one of the former master distillers on the label, and kind of, they increased the proof and whatever else they did to change that up a little bit. But no, I won't bother with that.
They're up to, I think, number 6, is it? Okay. I had number 3 the other week. That was quite nice. I think that won though, didn't it? I'd done a video.
Oh wow!
A Jack Daniel's blind tasting video. Everybody go and check it out. But I called it the Jack Off as well, so it was a bit rude. But
oh, and I should mention also. So one of my more recent bourbon purchases was another, essentially a new bourbon for 2019, which I think a lot of people have covered. I haven't yet, but I have a bottle, so I will when I get the chance. And that's the Legend. Legend.
Yeah, I've seen...
In that it's got kind of like the Edderdower straight from the cask style, sort of just a column style bottle with a unique cork closure, and it's interesting. The story, I believe, I'll just say, speak frankly here. The story is perhaps the most interesting thing about it. The bourbon is, let's say, maybe a little bit overpriced. It's good, but I don't think it's $70 good or whatever it was I paid for it here.
That's like the combination of bourbon and whiskey in it. Was it Suntory and Beam?
That's right. Suntory, I believe the master blender of Suntory, and Jim Beam, the master distiller, I believe. And I don't think there's no Japanese whiskey in there, but it's just the Japanese blender who basically blended the bourbon Jim. I guess that's Jim Beam blended Jim Beam's bourbon with his Japanese sense of flavor and balance and so on. So,
Little interesting one.
Oh, and as Greg reminds us, finished in some wine casks.
All right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that? Hey. Cool.
And I think just on that particular bourbon, not enough wine casks. They should have really evidently added some of that wine cask goodness to the whiskey, kind of like what's that other Angel's Envy.
Cool.
So that's my 2 cents.
Greg asking.
What about for you guys? New bourbons in your neck of the woods?
Yeah. Go, Toby. I have a little think.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of ones that we've got that are new.
Maybe not new, but ones that past 1 or 2 years, and you think, yeah, I'd really like a bottle of that.
Well, one recently that I got, which I've been looking at for a while, is this one here, which is. Let me just get it out.
Big reveal, everyone. Drum roll. I had a drum roll bloody thing, but all I've got now is Alan.
Me, Alan.
Jack Daniel's single barrel
cask strength, barrel strength. Yeah,
that's 64.5%.
I hear that is amazing.
Yeah, so that's why I had to buy it. So yeah, that's one that I've been after for a while.
Did you get that in there?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Jack Daniel's have just closed their online shop, so you can't buy directly from Jack Daniel's in the UK anymore. Yeah, so they're obviously doing a sale to close down all their stocks. Yeah, which is a shame. But I got a few bargains. I got the Jack Daniel's single barrel rye as well. I was a little bit disappointed with that. It's definitely better than the normal Jack Daniel's rye, but it's just normal Jack Daniel's single barrel with a little bit more spice. It didn't have enough character for me, but it was still good. It was a bargain, so I can't complain, and I enjoyed it. But it didn't wow me.
Cool. Johnny in chat saying he'd like to get Wild Turkey Cornerstone. Not heard of that, Johnny.
No, I haven't either.
One that I have tried, but Greg's mentioned it earlier, but I really would like a bottle of it, is ECBP, is the Elijah Craig barrel.
Yeah. I've got a sample of that.
Saying that, I would really like Stag Junior as well. Just to see how that compares to the bottle of Wow. The old dummies call it. But yeah, I've been.
I'm with you. I'm very curious. Stag Junior, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Some of the what's the other one I'm forgetting? Anyway, some of the other Buffalo Trace specialty bottles, but they are just so expensive here. And not only are they expensive, but I have to put my name in for a draw to get them. So I have to show up to the head office of the state-run liquor shops here. Get there early, and then put my name in a jar for whichever ones I want, and then they'll pick who gets to buy it. That's only for the real low volume production bottles. Some of the other ones, maybe they'll have a couple of cases, so it's basically just first come, first serve.
Imagine if that started happening after Brexit, everyone.
Yeah. So I suppose though, for the hard to get hold of bottles, a lottery, to be able to purchase is better than first come, first served. Otherwise, some people would never get them.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. it's just you have to invest the time, and you may not get exactly what you want. So you're best off to put your name in for everything and hope that you get one. But what happens if you get called for each of them? Then you'd be on the hook for $1,000.
Johnny from Spirits People saying it's actually easier to get Pappy and BTAC. What's BTAC?
Buffalo Trace Antique Collection.
In the UK than in the US. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
It'd still be expensive.
Yeah, and I guess Canada is probably Canada is similar to the US in the rarity and the difficulty in getting those unique bottles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they do hold a lot back for international market, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Now, I don't know if we have anybody from Japan watching, but or if anybody here gets to Japan on occasion. But Japan gets Evan Williams' 12-year-old, which is phenomenal. But for whatever reason, you can only get that at the distillery in the U.S., and it's also very limited. But for whatever reason, Japan just gets cases and cases of it, and very reasonable. I think I paid $40 for one of these 12-year-old Evan Williams.
I think he's in at the moment.
I was very happy to have tried it. I was very happy to have tried it.
Yeah, I don't think he's in at the moment, but I think Andrew from Prestige Liquids is heading up to Japan soon, maybe? I could be lying, but I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah.
Well, that should be one on his
shout
list.
Out for him. Evan Williams, 12-year-old Andrew. Go and get some.
Grab
that bottle and ship it to us. Cool. I don't know how pushed you off time, Mark. You got
about 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, in
I've
that
got
case,
left.
it's time for quick fire questions. Quick fire questions round.
Oh yeah, they new ones.
They're new ones
Chris.
for you, Toby.
Okay. But old ones for Mark.
New ones for you.
Right.
Right, we'll go for Mark first. Favorite current whiskey?
My favorite current
Your
whiskey,
favorite whiskey at the moment
is Tamdu batch strength number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your go-to distillery?
I have a few, so that's hard to say, but I would say that presently my go-to distillery would be, I'll just pick one of them, would be Tobermory.
Okay. Is that because Toby's on?
No, that is a good distillery.
What's your favorite video you've made?
My favorite video that I've made. There was a couple that I put out that I put so much effort into and ended up not really performing from the point of view of views, etc. But last summer, with some old high school friends of mine and I, we went to Lake Winnipeg, across the lake from the Gimli plant for Crown Royal. But basically, the lake was behind us. We had our lawn chairs in the sand in the beach, and we just shared some Crown Royal Northern Harvest rye and had a chat about what some of them were just sort of like non-whiskey drinkers or occasional. So they tried it for the first time, and everybody shared their thoughts. And a couple of the buddies of mine were very funny. So it was great to catch that on camera. But the audio was atrocious. I did not have a dead cat mic, which sucked. So I had to spend about 16 hours listening and transcribing what everybody was saying.
Right.
and then I hardwired the subtitles for that.
Nice.
Anyway, so worked out okay. Terrible audio, but anyway, that was probably my most,
Video.
at least for me, the one I enjoy
Cool.
the most.
What's your favourite non-whiskey spirit?
My favorite non-whiskey spirit is definitely cognac.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like my cognacs too. Toby and I like cognac. I went to the cognac show earlier this year. That was good.
Oh, that would be great.
30. Quite painful. Last question. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
God, no! You can't put pineapple on pizza.
That's the wrong answer,
You just
Mark.
can't. Take that and no. Take that pizza and shove it.
No pineapple Hawaiian pizzas for Mark. Let's do Toby. The favourite whiskey one we've done, because I kept it the same.
Yeah.
But best distillery tour you've been on?
See, I'm torn between two.
Yeah. Bimber.
Bimber was the most interesting in terms of seeing it working, having the smells and everything. But the most interesting in terms of history and everything that made the distillery was Pierce Lyons in Dublin, because theirs is in a church.
Oh yeah, I know.
And you actually, before you go into the distillery, you have a tour of the graveyard, and they tell you about all the famous people that are buried there.
Wow!
So they're still there. And then you go in the church, and the distillery and the pot stills are all in there, and the stained glass has been replaced with stained glass
to a well on
sort of tell the story of the distillery.
A well?
What?
Do they get their water from a well on site?
No, I don't think so. No,
that'd be like you'd be like drinking all the dead people.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it? No, I don't think they do.
Cool. What's your favourite whiskey tube channel?
It's got to be Aquavite. Yeah.
Nice. Peated or non-peated?
I like both, but if I could only ever have one, it would be non-peated.
Okay. Cool.
I'd sway more to that.
And Marmite, yes or no?
Yes, definitely.
I don't mind a bit of Marmite.
Oh, cool.
We were talking the other day at work about making a Marmite cake.
Why?
Ooh.
So instead of icing or jam, you put Marmite in it. Just because.
That would be awful.
Well,
that would actually go over in Asia.
Would it?
Yeah. Yeah, started a business selling Marmite cakes in Asia.
Yeah, that's good export. Right?
Yeah. Have you had Marmite peanut butter, Chris?
For years. I've always mixed peanut butter and Marmite.
No. Have you had the official one?
But I've always...
Yeah, it tastes like dry roasted peanuts.
Oh yeah, I guess that yeasty...
Yeah. It's alright. Yeah, it's alright in small amounts.
Well, there we go, everyone. That was quick fire round questions. It was great. I really enjoyed that.
That was a lot of fun. Now, I know before I leave, you said you were thinking of having one question to the commenters about me. So I'll just remind you of that and see if you're going to throw that out to the audience.
Yeah. I mean, we'll do the giveaway now. Happy to do the giveaway now.
All right.
Tonight's giveaway is a sample of this Four Roses bourbon. It's an age statement, 6 years. It was either bottled in the 80s or 90s, so it's well over 20 years old. Johnny's saying mermaid. That was another stream. So yeah, a sample of this is tonight's giveaway. I think it's a really, really good bourbon, great age, and the first person to answer this question. Sorry,
can I answer it, Chris?
No.
Can I answer it?
Yeah, you definitely.
I certainly can't.
So yeah, first person to answer this question in the chat will get a sample of this bottle. And the question is this: what other language does Mark from Whisky Whistle do his videos in?
I reckon Rolf's going to get this.
Da 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 da
C,
da da da
47,
da.
11. What other language, people, does Mark do videos in? Come on, get on your YouTube, go and find it. Greg's there.
Oh, Greg got it. Oh, Rolf was seconds later. I thought. Rolf
Oh
might
man,
get
that
first.
was not even a second. That was like a half or a quarter second
Yeah.
later.
Well done,
I
Greg.
thought Rolf would get it, but Greg.
To be
just
fair,
jumped
Greg's
into the post.
probably got a bottle of this anyway, so.
Well done.
Probably got about 3.
He very well.
But yeah, Greg, I will send you over a sample of this. Well done. Cool. Well, I know
just
your
noticed
time's
that
short, Mark.
Spirits
Did
people-
you want to mention your trip at all?
You know, unfortunately, I'm not going to mention my trip because it is going to be
man.
delayed.
Exclusive delayed.
I think we didn't have a long enough window to get enough people interested, and some people who were interested already had their plans for the fall. So that's looking like it's going to end up being delayed for 2020. And I'm a little bit gutted. I really wanted to go, and I really pushed pretty hard for that, and I think I will have to reevaluate how that'll look, and that may end up being me actually organizing it myself, as opposed to relying on an agency to back that up. So hopefully 2020, and for everybody who was hoping to see me, I apologize, but in due time, I'll be there, hang out with you guys too if there's time, and anybody else who wants to have a night out with me. Try to make that happen. I'll probably end up spending some time in Glasgow and Inverness.
Cool. Yeah, because Glasgow would be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
sure Roy would love to take you out and whatnot in Glasgow. On accord.
It would be epic. It would be
an epic place.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot for having me on.
Thank you
I
for
really
coming
appreciate
on.
that.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
We'll have to try this again sometime.
Yeah, it won't be soon because 7 days of live streams is.
That's hard. I haven't even tried that before,
Quite
so
intense.
well done. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll try and maybe I'll have you on when I can get all that figured out. And it'll have to be a little bit later so I can at least get home and pour myself a glass of something nice.
Definitely. I'd have to stay up or either get up very early. Either or. Probably
Either or.
Saturday's always a good one.
It's been good, Mark.
Toby, very nice to chat with you.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris. Really appreciate it. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to Chris's channel, The Last Drop. He's doing a great job and expecting great things from Chris. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, right. Okay. So bear with me for a couple of seconds, people. Toby's gone small. Here we go. Ta-da! How impressive is that? Not bad, huh? Just 2 guys' heads. Sorry?
I can't see it yet.
I
can't see it yet. There's a delay.
So there we go, everyone. That was Mark from the Whisky Whistle. Brilliant having him on. Some great great to talk to him, really. I mean, that was obviously he was limited on time, and we just wanted to talk to him about what his favourite bourbons are, really. Yeah, some nice little insights into his pineapple hating days on pizza.
I can't remember, Chris. But did you like pineapple on pizza?
But I like. This is what I do with a pineapple pizza. I'd really like to do it more often, but I don't eat a lot of pizza now. Don't snigger over there. But yeah, barbecue sauce with ham and pineapple. Way to go.
Really?
That's what I like. It's because it's normally just the normal bread sauce, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll have to try that next time. I did see a Hawaiian pizza the other day, which was interesting. So obviously in the UK, we nearly always just have chunks of pineapple, which are just scattered across it. But these were pineapple rings, basically covering the whole pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Antonio in Chicago.
That's probably where I saw it then. Yeah, so that's a proper attempt at pineapple on pizza.
There we go.
Yeah, we should definitely do it like that over here. Rings. Yeah.
Let's go to the chat, shall we?
I see Mark Slinger's in.
How you doing, Mark? Nobody else is leaving. Nobody go. We're all still streaming. Toby and I are going to chat crap for a few minutes more.
Yeah. I think they panicked a little when Mark said bye.
Cool duet. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not singing.
Really? I thought we agreed to at the beginning.
No karaoke.
Ebony and ivory. No?
Yeah, you can keep going, Chris.
I've got a lovely singing voice, everyone. Mark left, new Mark in. Just back from
one
the
in,
pub.
one out.
Cool. So what's everybody drinking? I mean,
I saw Rolf said he's drinking Bunnahabhain 12. I've switched to the Jack Daniel's single barrel. I was on the Bernheim.
That the barrel strength.
No, I haven't opened that yet. I'm just trying to find the right moment. I don't want to open it by myself. I want to open it and
I think we
share the experience.
We should meet up, really, shouldn't we? Because I mean, we're so bloody close.
Yeah, because there's no point having a wow moment all by yourself.
We should do a video together. Be cool.
And if it's a letdown, then you can, have the disappointment shared with somebody else rather than by yourself.
No, Greg saying
we could do something on Brighton seafront, couldn't we, Chris? Have a nice scenic background. You're allowed to drink in public by the pier.
I don't think anybody cares.
No. Yeah, same in Eastbourne.
Is it? I don't know how it's. It's cool, isn't it? God. Pain in the bum. Cool. So yeah, what are the bourbons you got? Yeah.
Who, me? Right. So I've got loads of Jack Daniels for some reason.
Normal.
I've got the Master Distiller series. I've got the single barrel rye, the single barrel select, the single barrel proof. I've got the standard Maker's Mark. I've got the Jim Beam single barrel. I've got the Bernheim wheated 7-year-old. I've got the Rittenhouse rye, which I posted earlier on my Instagram. I've got the Woodford Reserve rye. That Hudson Manhattan rye. There's obviously a theme here. I like rye.
Why try rye? That was a good video. Somebody done.
Yeah. But see, I think rye is effectively it's a bourbon, but with a bit of a kick, because bourbon can get a bit samey for me, whereas rye always has that extra sort of character.
Yeah.
Have you tried many ryes, Chris?
No. But obviously I've done a video about it, and got people to comment on other YouTubers to why try it. But yeah, I've done a few. Bullet Rye is really, really nice. I really like that one.
Yeah, I had that a few weeks ago for the first time. Really impressed. I thought this is just going to be one of your typical sort of entry level ryes. It's going to be a bit disappointing, but that actually surprised
definitely.
me.
I mean, I've spoken to Roy about it as well. He was saying that it's one of those bottles that him and his brother get or something. Yeah, they just drink it because they like it so much. Just one of those quite stapley, like the ones we were saying earlier about the bourbons, the Buffalo Traces.
Yeah, and it's not expensive either, is it?
Again, you can get it.
You can get it for £20 on offer. It's about 25 normally.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, yeah, rye just has character. Bourbon's lovely, and I love sweet whiskey, so bourbon really fits the bill
Sweet tooth.
well. But yeah, definitely. But yeah, rye just has that kick, and it just sort of adds a bit of, you know, that extra dimension.
Yeah, I mean, I think like when other people I've seen reviews, lots of bourbons, and you know they obviously go on about different flavors and everything like that. But they, especially here, and which is probably what you find as well, is that we tend not to get all those flavoursome bourbons over here, and if they do come over here, they're very, very elevated price wise.
Yeah, so for example, you know, all the mainstream sort of retailers carry all the mainstream sort of everyday bourbons, and you've either got to go online or find a specialist retailer to get something special. And you know, with that exclusivity comes the price, and sometimes you can't justify it for what it is. And Mark Slinger made a good point just then. You know, he looks for a good bourbon and ends up with a Scotch because there's so much more choice.
Well, yeah.
And yes, and it's better value often, so it can be a difficult choice for us in the UK.
It's sort of similar scenario in the US. So they obviously can get bourbon very readily available, but Scotch is less available. Yeah, one of those things, isn't it? With that big bit of water in the middle.
Yeah, I think it also depends on the state and the tax levels and, you know, different availabilities. So, you know, some states probably do quite well, but most, I don't think, have the availability that we do.
But, you know, if Trump's anything to go by, then we're going to get a really good trade deal with the US soon. So maybe that'll help. No politics, it's whiskey. Cool. So what else we got in? We got Society Dweller saying Bullet Rye is wonderful. Can't argue with that. Johnny's recommending Barrel Strength Rye. Michter's. Yeah, I mean, they're the ones, aren't they? Michter's. And obviously, watching the Vault a lot, you get Balcones, comes up a lot. I hadn't actually tried a Balcones.
No, I haven't either. I mentioned that earlier too.
Oh, I'm saying I have tried one.
To Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Yeah, I haven't.
I think it was their single malt. It was alright. You know, it didn't leap out, to be honest. Yeah, it seemed good. But yeah, Michter's is one that comes up a lot, isn't it? And Alan's just popped in as well. He's obviously got that bottle of Henry McKenna, which obviously won World Whisky Award or whatever it is, double gold thing.
Yeah, I did get a sample of Michter's from New Dram Drinker, and I've yet to try that. But again, that's one that, you know, it's you know, reputed to be a very good whiskey, and it's been on my list for a while. So he sent me a sample of that, so I'll try that soon.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing with samples, isn't it? I mean, you know, I've got a few. I've got a couple here for you. Just sitting there waiting to give to you.
Well, you can have a sample of anything that I've got when we meet up. So If I've got it, you can have it. I'm not bringing everything though, Chris. Yeah. Can't do that.
But no, like when you get samples, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, I find it difficult to do like a video on just a sample because you don't have that development with a bottle, do you? So.
No, but I suppose the good thing with the sample is you can have that instant reaction. It's the first time you cracked it open, a bit like a neck pour. It's the first time you cracked it open, so it is that immediate reaction. You haven't had time to explore that. You haven't had time with it, so it's your immediate reaction. And I think that if a whiskey can't win you over in that first pour, then you're going to have a completely different relationship with the rest of the bottle. So a sample will make you, it'll make or break whether or not you want to buy a whole bottle. So it's an interesting position to be in when you're, testing samples and that's the only whiskey you've got. You can't go for a second go.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good way to try loads of whiskies and other spirits, isn't it? I mean, I've got quite a few cognacs to do. Spoiler alert. Videos. Yeah, I mean, they're good and they have good points and bad points. Yeah, still prefer a bottle that you can play with. Cool. Right, who else we got? Henry McKenna. Yeah. Oh dear. That 50% gets you sometimes. Apologies. Shout out to these guys. Don't know where they are. They're probably out.
Tonight. Not in. No, I know Anthony was at work. But,
big shout out to Anthony and Nikki from New Dram Drinker for sending me this little whiskey topper and a little note. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Came in the mail today. That was good. Ebhead's asking, how is the whiskey scene in Brighton?
I'm guessing it's not great, Chris.
Right, I mean, there's a few around. Wagon and Horses, they have a really good whiskey selection. Great Eastern, is it? Down North Street. Sorry? Great Eastern. Sorry, wife. She's not. She's trying to help. Yeah, Great Eastern down, has one of the biggest bourbon selection. So that'd be really cool to go there. They're in.
But obviously, in terms of like a whiskey scene, there's whiskey bars and there's a whiskey scene. I'm guessing there isn't that sort of like sense of,
there's
community
no real
and
my friend Jim done a whiskey tasting years ago now from his own collection, but other than that I'm not aware of really any scene, which is I have sort of chatted to a couple of people on Twitter and stuff like that who are Brighton based or aware of Brighton drinking. It doesn't seem to be that, but I mean, you're sort of I don't know if is it public knowledge about the old
Yeah, I commented yesterday.
Oh yeah, you did.
I commented yesterday.
But it's obviously with the Sussex Whiskey Club possibly emerging. I mean, that's probably going to be the biggest scene that I'd be aware of.
Yeah, I think our geography is a bit of a letdown, isn't it, in Sussex? Because we do only have one major city, which is Brighton. we have smaller cities in Sussex, but lots of towns and a poor road network to join everybody together, poor public transport. So it's very difficult to get people to, emerge on a particular venue and get them together. It's much easier for us to go up to London for the day than it is to all try and meet in the same place in Sussex. Which is why I went and joined the London Whisky Club, because it's easy to get to.
Yeah. Yeah, Ebhead saying that as well, but yeah. That's probably the closest one for you as well, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I find that yeah, London's maybe too far for me. Especially because it's like on a Wednesday night, and it's at like 6:30. Yeah, that's just way too early. If it was like at 8, you could maybe get up there.
Yeah, but then you can't get back.
Right, last train's at like 12.
Yeah, but then you got to worry about going to work the next day. So you've either got to take the next day off or the afternoon of the day you're going to London.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's an adventure.
It is an adventure.
And obviously you are taking the day off to go to the London Whisky Club.
I am, yeah. I'm very excited about that. That's going to be a great day.
And then obviously
going, what was it? Bimber tour to start off with, and then then Glen Scotia tasting evening. Nice.
Yeah, so you just have to know the right people to set up a Bimber tour.
That was Jim Jensen's coming over for that, isn't he, or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So it definitely helps that a member of the London Whisky Club effectively owns shares in Bimber. Yeah. So
always helpful. Cool. Oh dear.
Got the bourbon professor in.
Bill's in. Hi Bill, how you doing? He's the guy that we should be talking to.
Yeah, he probably knows a million times more than we do. We're just the great pretenders.
Well, I had Iron Root at the Gathering. That was really nice. I can't remember what it was. It was either Icarus or Harbinger. Rolf will probably tell me. He was there. What's Farid's role?
Yeah, he's basically an investor in the distillery, and obviously the return is whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes his whiskey, and he gets the pick of the crop, including his own private casks. So you'll get to taste his private cask on the or one of them on the 11th of September, Chris. Yeah. So.
Very nice indeed. Cool. Right, has anybody got any questions about bourbon that you think that we might be able to answer?
Obviously, if we can't answer it, the group might be able to answer it.
Well, Luna's arrived as well. Hi Luna, how you doing? Good to see you. But yeah. Give us bourbon questions. That'd be good. Or whiskey questions. Anything you'd like to know about us? That's disappointing. Or maybe the typing. Maybe it's like a really long question. Who knows? Who knows? No. Cool. Is there anything you want to mention, Toby?
I don't know. We've probably covered everything, haven't we?
Does everybody know what
talking about?
Everyone here. Sorry.
What bourbon is? what bourbon is, the definition.
Yeah, I mean that's a difficult one.
It's interesting. One thing that I only learned until recently is there's no minimum age for bourbon. As long as it's aged in oak, it can be called bourbon. It has to state its age if it's less than 2 years. But that really surprised me.
Yeah, they're very specific wording, don't they? And it can.
Yeah, and obviously if it's a straight bourbon, then it can't have colour. It has to be a minimum of 2 years, aged in virgin oak. Obviously, all bourbon has to be in virgin oak, otherwise it can only be called a whiskey. So there's loads of interesting rules around
adding
bourbon.
The bottling bond and stuff.
And obviously, the proof it can go in at and things like that. It is interesting. Yeah, so Edbed's put about corn. Obviously, it's got to be 51% corn minimum. So to be bourbon.
51% rye for a rye. And not corn.
So,
not corn, is it? It's corn.
Yeah.
For bourbon, yeah. Sorry.
Because corn is their main grain.
But like mellow corn or things like that, they've got to be minimum 71 or 81%. So another different rule, which is a bit odd.
Yeah.
Minimum 4 years bottling bond, yeah. Not American whiskey. Yeah, it's a good little dram, isn't it? Bourbon. I mean,
yeah, I think as a or mate, I don't want to sound like I know everything when I don't. Bourbon as a flavour profile is very similar, regardless of which brand you get. It generally has very similar characteristics. Obviously, they taste different, but they have certain characteristics which can be found in all of them, especially things like the charred oak, the vanilla. They're very common flavour profiles. Whereas you get something like Scotch, which obviously often isn't made in virgin oak, and has such a wider variety of rules. There can be such distinct flavours which you don't get from one brand to the next. So bourbon, you always get certain characters that come through in the flavour.
Yeah, I mean, you get those vanillas and the caramels.
Yeah, and I often get cherry or things like cola, flat cola.
Yeah, I get that sort of sweet,
those sorts of flavours come through.
Sort
of. Yeah, so some whiskies are more pronounced, and some are a bit more muted.
If they got a high rye, in the mash bill, it's spicier, isn't it? But I mean, this quite a subtle nose really on this 101.
Yeah, it's interesting. One point that's come through from Alan, the whiskey friend, he said about the fact that Jack Daniels are obviously the biggest producer of whiskey in America, biggest brand in the world when it comes to American whiskies, and you can't even buy whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee, because it's a dry county. So yeah, they make the most, and you can't buy any.
Yeah. Pretty sure there's probably like a shop.
I think you can sample it. Yeah, I think you can sample it, and you can buy certain commemorative bottles, but you can't just go and buy alcohol at the distillery or in
they probably make sure that you don't open it.
Yeah. And Greg's made a point about whether or not bourbon and rye are really good for cocktails. I think rye is definitely good for cocktails. That spicy character really comes through in cocktails, when often things like Scotch can just get lost. Do you agree, Chris? Yeah, bourbon and rye, they definitely have a character which shines through.
I like it neat.
But things like an old fashioned, it's almost a neat drink, isn't it? It's a very strong drink which is diluted with the least amount of ice.
No.
Haven't you? You haven't lived. You'll probably get one at Bimber. Okay. Yeah, Arthur at Bimber makes a mean old fashioned. It'll blow your socks off.
Make sure I get one.
Yeah, it makes that with the
this is
virgin
sort of
oak.
What I was saying yesterday in the stream, that developing palate. Pretty classic sort of young bloke who just went out and drank beer, and then went on to shorts. But never really dabbled in anything else. Cocktails is a relatively new thing to me, to be honest. But the few I've had are really nice. But yeah, I've never gone out and gone, oh yeah, I'll get a cocktail. It's been normally always a beer or a whiskey now.
Yeah, I totally, I'm on the same page. Generally, I'd only ever drink, things like beer, cider, and the nearest you get to a cocktail is something like whiskey and coke or whiskey and ginger ale or something like that. It's not a cocktail in the traditional sense of making something quite magical with drink. It's just mixing two drinks together to make it more palatable. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, so having a proper whiskey cocktail was a fairly new thing to me in the last year, and seeing what you can do with this fantastic liquid other than drink it neat.
So much, it's just so mind-blowing. I think that's what
exactly. Unless you try stuff, you don't know what you like. So I always try whiskey neat, and then I add water to see if it does something, and then I occasionally mix stuff to see what it does with other things. But I tend to always go back to it neat, because that's how you get the most out of the character of the liquid.
Can't argue with that, and I don't think anybody else will. Cool. Who else we got? We got Mose Chun's in. Hi Mose, how you doing? Jay from Bourbon and Baby is in as well. Mark from the Whisky Whistle's back for a little chat. Thanks for popping in, Mark.
It's interesting. Luna's just made a comment about adding peated scotch to cocktails, because often I find that cocktails with scotch get lost, but a peated whiskey really does actually punch through, because it's the smoke that adds the character to that cocktail.
Obviously you have to pick flavours that would go with smoke, because obviously smoke's quite a distinctive flavour.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what a decent bartender or someone like that who's played with stuff, will find things that go really well together, because they've tried to pair different flavours to get the most out of a drink.
Bloody Scotsman, Bloody Mary with whiskey.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah,
probably work actually. I can see that working.
Yeah, I've not tried that one.
I'm gonna start up my food channel.
Your food channel.
I have considered it, but yeah.
Have you really? Your Marmite and your shepherd's pie.
That is top tip, everyone. A top tip.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Cottage pie, teaspoon of Marmite in your mince mix. Next level.
Just a teaspoon,
cottage pie. Yeah, a good heaped teaspoon.
Okay, I'll have to remember not to mix it with the mash.
Not the mash. Add mustard for that.
Oh, see, one thing. Here's the top tip: if you're making lasagna, you put the cheese on the top.
Yeah.
What I do before I put the cheese on the top is I get a bag of crisps. I crush it up so it's in little bits, and I sprinkle that on top, and then I put cheese on top of that. It's good.
Crisps on top of your lasagna.
Yeah, try that one, Chris.
That is no.
Yeah, no, it works. It does.
Okay.
I can't remember where I saw it, but yeah,
Crispy.
give it a go, and it
What
works.
kind of crisps? Just plain.
Well, actually, the flavour disappears. It's really weird.
Okay.
So I've used all different ones, but just
Pickled
really salted.
Pickled onion Monster Munch.
If you want, no, just normal potato crisps.
Potato crisps. Okay.
Yeah. I've tried cheese and onion. I've tried ready salted, smoky bacon. The flavour sort of disappears once it's cooked. Yeah.
Cool. There we go. 2 top taste sensation tips there.
For your cooking.
Yeah, Mark Slinger.
And you can drink whiskey while you're cooking it.
Wow, food section is on. I'm definitely gonna try chips on lasagna. Crisps, they're crisps.
Yeah, we call them crisps. Get it right. Yeah, and as I said, you can drink your whiskey while you're cooking, so it's a bonus.
Well, yeah, I have done a setup. I've set up camera looking at me with a chopping board, getting the rest.
Have you got like a head cam so you can look down while you're chopping?
I could do that. That's genius. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, you can see me.
Or you can get the ones that when you're wearing a cap, it clips onto the end of the cap. While you're looking down.
I tried garlic bread. Garlic and bread.
Garlic bread. That's a Peter Kay sketch, isn't it?
Is there any other way to beer on your croque monsieur? Monsieur, Greg's saying. Croque monsieur cheese on toast, isn't it?
Like ham and cheese toasty.
Just cheese on toast. Pretty sure that's what it is. Maybe like spices mixed in. I think it's quite close to Welsh rarebit, if it is.
Oh, I like a Welsh rarebit. Worcestershire sauce.
I know they mix beer with that quite readily. Best whiskey and cheese pairings. Oh, that's next level.
Roquefort and Lagavulin 16.
Lagavulin 16 with Roquefort.
Do you like a Lagavulin, Chris?
I do.
Yeah. I've got the Distiller's Edition that I'm yet to open, which is finished in Pedro Jimenez.
Oh, right, okay.
Hoping that'd be good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the sherry itself? Pedro Jimenez.
Not Pedro. Sherry? Oh yeah. I've got a bottle of it somewhere. Okay. Yeah, it's like insipid. It's like teeth rottenly sweet. Right. It's like, yeah, I can only drink a little bit of it. Apparently, it says the serving size is like a whole glass on the bottle. Right. I couldn't even drink more than a thimbleful. Right. It's so sweet, and I like sweet.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting. Cool. This pairing, guys, is an explosion in the mouth. Okay. That's. Yeah.
You put them in your mouth at the same time?
Is that like mermaids? Can't remember what we were saying then. Mermaids and Marmite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Try what on vanilla? I had saying that, Mark.
Oh, you can put PX sherry. It says that on the bottle that I've got. Yeah. It says to pour it on ice cream.
I'd agree with that. I had some rum on some vanilla ice cream the other day. That was brilliant.
Yeah, but rum's quite watery, whereas the PX sherry is thicker.
This rum isn't.
Is it?
No, quite syrupy. Depends. I mean, it's a dark sort of aged rum. Diplomatico rum.
Greg's given us more whiskey and cheese pairings.
Alright, okay. Talisker 10 and a Comte. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Is that because it's salty, I guess? The salt transfers over?
And Ebhead's given us one as well.
St. Albury and Aaron 18, okay. All great.
Well, I can try 2 of those because I've got 2 of the whiskies.
Oh, good. What, you got the St. Albury?
No, I haven't.
I don't even know what that is. Where's that from?
No, neither do I. But I can get the cheese. I've got the whiskey.
Yeah, we can get some Comté. PX on ice cream is a taste sensation.
Yeah, I've not tried it. I've got some picks, so maybe I should.
Yeah, go for it.
Just so. Yeah.
A bit. Cool. Right. We call it a day?
You got to give a giveaway, haven't you?
We done that.
Oh, no,
We
you
done
did that.
earlier.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That was Greg that won that.
Yep, Greg won it.
Remembered. I panicked for a bit. Thought we hadn't done it.
Apologies for the late arrivals. Yeah. Thank you very much for everybody for coming. I really appreciate you all being in the chat. I hope you don't mind sort of this little informal banter at the end. Great. Marmite in your shepherd's pie. Crisps on your lasagna. That's what you should be taking away from this live stream. Nothing about bourbon or whiskey. So yeah, thanks very much for everyone coming. Thank you, Toby. Absolute pleasure having you on again. I'll message you. We'll have to meet up after this week. We need.
Yeah, before Bimber and.
Yeah, definitely.
Glen Scotia.
Definitely before Bimber. That'd be cool. Thank you, Mark, Whisky Whistle, for coming in. Real pleasure having you on. Really appreciate you coming on again. Not again, but on the live stream. Great to have a little chat. Really interesting. Hates pineapple on pizza, everyone. Who would have thought? I would have thought he'd been right up his street, but clearly not. There we go. Thank you everyone for coming, and point at the screen. That's the last drop, people.